Does it matter if you're parked or moving around to receive Uber Eats orders? This is a fascinating topic because if you've been a driver for any length of time, you always wonder what's going on in the background with that artificial intelligence, with Uber Eats trying to send us orders or not. Is there something that we can do to influence this? I'm going to answer that directly, but first, here's the key thing that you need to know. And before I forget, I'm going to give you a pro tip, and then also dealing with this topic, I'm going to share something that you must not do. So don't let me forget that. So the very first thing that you need to be concerned with is know your market. And this is so essential. Many Uber Eats drivers, especially when you're new, how do you know? So here's the thing. If you're moving around or parked, you need to be doing research on your market. I recommend do this at home and use the internet. That way you're not putting wear and tear on your car. And this is so essential. So when you're at home, get online, find out where the restaurants are in your city. And then once you're comfortable with that, look at the neighboring city or town, obviously something not too far away. And what you want to do is realize, go to an area where there's a large density of restaurants. That way on Uber Eats, if you're within the radius of 5 or 6 restaurants, it's far more likely you're going to get orders from one of those because you're right there. But that doesn't mean you should stay parked. The other thing that impacts this is know what's going on in your market. Obviously, day to day, knowing where the restaurants are, that's good. But keep in mind, are there colleges nearby where students are coming and going in their slow and busy times? Is it an industrial area, a business area? What kind of commerce is going on that's going to drive people to order lunch? Obviously, lunchtime is a big thing here in a working area. If you're in a suburban area and there's just a lot of houses, then you're going to want to know, when do people eat? And obviously that would be primarily breakfast and dinner. So this information is going to help you know when to go out and where to go as well. So the more you can know your market, the better. And even experienced drivers, I've been doing this going on 7 years part-time. So over time, I've learned things the hard way. And that's why I make this video, to help you to speed up that learning curve so you don't have to do this. So get online and start learning your market now. Obviously, after that, when you're out getting experience doing food delivery, you're going to be driving around, and so you can pay attention as you see different places if you get orders from there. That way you'll know when to go back. So let's answer that question directly. And I do want to thank Brian. He commented on a previous video asking this very important question. I think this is going to help everybody. So to be direct, do you park? Do you move around? I would say a little bit of both. Never just park and sit at a restaurant hoping for orders. Just because you're parked by McDonald's, that doesn't mean that Uber Eats is going to send you orders from there or from anywhere else. And quite frankly, you're wasting your time to be sitting there. There are other apps where they encourage you to stay within a radius and supposedly you get orders. I don't trust them, and you shouldn't trust Uber Eats either. But I will park for a short time period. If I don't get an order within 5 minutes or 10 minutes, then I'll go somewhere else. Guaranteed, I'm not going to sit at a place for 15 minutes if there's no orders, especially when it's grouped around 5 or 6 restaurants. Surely one of those would be ordering on Uber Eats. So if this isn't the case, then I move on. But where do I go and why? This is when you know your market. You'll know if this area is slow, go over there and find the other cluster of restaurants and park there for a little bit. What if there's no orders in your market and you've only parked for a short time, moved somewhere else, and maybe moved somewhere else in your town? At that point, if you're going to go to another town, then yes, you're committing to miles on your car, but you're having the hope, the expectation that that other market's going to be busier. So you're not doing it blindly, and you're not just going to drive around all day and night pointlessly. you're going there for a reason. In this case, then it's great. Drive to the other market, and while you're going there, you might get orders that pull you back to your home market, or as you're going, you might get orders. And then this could just lead into cascading of more orders. And this is what we all want and really wish would happen all the time. Just back-to-back orders. And ideally, all those orders are profitable. But more on that here in a little bit. So as you go to a different market, you're hoping that by driving around there, again, if you know the area, already go to that cluster of restaurants and you can wait there. If it's during peak meal times, I think you're going to notice by driving around, it doesn't matter where the orders are coming from and where you are. Uber Eats knows where you are, and they know if there's a shortage, they're going to send the orders to you no matter where you are. And I found that this is the case many times when I am transitioning between markets or in certain areas of the town. It doesn't matter where I'm parked or where I'm driving. Uber Eats knows I'm there, and they're going to send me an order. And I think you can understand and see the importance. If you're just driving around all the time when the market's slow and you're not getting orders, then guaranteed you're spending money on your gas and you're running up miles on your car that one day it's going to break. And that's just not smart. So if you know, after a while when you get experience, if you know you're not getting the income coming in, then you're just going to have to stop or go back at a different part of the day in order to try to get some orders. You can't just keep driving around, not making any money. That's a sure way to fail. And then I know, Brian mentioned in the comment how he sat and didn't get any orders for 2 hours, which is sad because then you're not earning money, but at least you're not running up wear and tear and miles on your car. So that's something to think about. Let me share the thing that you must not do when you're doing Uber Eats food delivery. You're going to notice from time to time there's going to be surges, and what they like to do is use some really pretty colors, trying to get you excited like, whoa, something's going on over there. I want to be there. Don't let them fool you. Uber Eats is just trying to draw drivers in like moths to a flame, and that's exactly it. If you go to where the surge is, then other drivers are going there too, and you're probably not going to get any orders. And by the time that surge is there, it's been my experience, by the time you get there, it's over. There's no orders. And by you leaving, if you had just stayed in your area, if the other drivers are going there, you may have actually gotten orders by staying where you're at and letting the other drivers chase the pretty colors. Don't do that. If you look in the app, you're going to see the chart, the bar chart by the days and times of when it's busy in your area, according to that app. I would say mostly you can trust that, but with just even a little bit of experience, you're going to know that the peak meal times, that's when it's busy. And then in certain markets, the weekends may be really busy, or the weekdays. Again, when you know your market, that's how you know where and when to go out. And then before I move on to the bonus tip, I just want to mention, I do drive long distances if my market is really slow, or if I have an errand to run, or if I'm already going someplace. Then if I am driving around all the time, it's because I'm hoping to get paid at least something to pay for my trip as I'm already going somewhere else. Obviously, you don't want to just go on long distance trips joyriding hoping to get orders because, like I already mentioned, that's going to run up wear and tear on your car. But if you already have a reason to be out, you might as well get paid as you go there. And here's my favorite. And you know what? I think Uber Eats knows our patterns because of the artificial intelligence and their computer systems. They know the orders we take and where we go. And I do have an example of that. I was, say, 20 miles away and I was going home. Uber Eats gave me an order from 20 miles away in my hometown, and it was good. It was, say, like $20, and it was a short delivery within a mile or two once I was in the town. And that was a no-brainer. I was like, okay, I'll get paid to go home. So that kind of driving around was great. I already needed to go home, and thank you, Uber Eats, giving me that order to pay me to go home. So, are you ready for that bonus tip? This is really going to make money for you, and I think you're going to find it exciting. You need to multi-app. What this means is be on more than one app. Now, granted, when you're a new Uber Eats driver, you really do need to spend the time getting to know how to use the app and be proficient at it. But as soon as you are, get on Grubhub or DoorDash or even Instacart and learn how to use that app. That is the secret right there. You know, the viewer commented how it was just slow and he didn't get any orders for 2 hours. But if you're on a different app, then yeah, maybe there's times Uber Eats is slow, which is true. But DoorDash may be getting orders, or Grubhub, or in a completely different industry, on Instacart, grocery shopping, that may be busy. So that's really the secret. Anytime that it's just basically dead in your market, if you're on other apps, this is really going to help you to have opportunities to make more money. No guarantees, but hey, it's better than sitting there guaranteed not making any money. There's another frustrating aspect when seemingly if you're parked, you're not getting orders, or you're driving and you're not getting orders. Here's the thing. When we do get orders, we're so excited and we just want to grab them and make some money, especially when it's been slow. But let me caution you, if you do this all the time and you're not aware if it's profitable or not, you could actually be just hurting yourself instead of just staying parked and not making money, or driving a lot and not getting orders and then spending all that money on wear and tear and gas. You could instead just be slowly going broke because you're taking unprofitable orders. And I do have good news for you. I've made a video teaching you what kind of orders are profitable, and trust me, watch that and I'll see you there.